All right, I think we're live. Are you guys doing? I see the chat up here. So a lot of stuff today. Today is a big day. Usually these live streams that I've been having, this is the third one, are geared towards helping new ZimmWriter users get onboarded and figure it out. ZimmWriter arguably is not an easy tool to figure out, but it provides a lot of options for you, and those options allow you to really dial in the settings for your particular client, your particular niche. A lot of different clients, a lot of different niches will have different settings that you'll need to kind of dial in, whether it's AI images or writing style or whatnot. So ZimmWriter provides that opportunity for you, but figuring that out can be a little hard. That's why I have these live streams to help you understand what ZimmWriter can do, how to actually do it, and then everything else in between. One thing I'll ask as we get started is, if you don't mind, if you go to the Facebook group, it might look a little different on mobile, but in the pinned tabs, there is a pin up here called ZimmWriter Testimonial. It would be phenomenal, all right, if you have not already, leave a testimonial. This allows you to do either a video testimonial or just a text testimonial. And I think you can even throw a backlink in if you really want to. Let's see here. Let's go to Get ZimmWriter, and they will appear right here. Okay, so yeah, if you wanna do that, that would be highly appreciated. I would love that. Again, just go to the Facebook group discussion tab and drop a testimonial. Don't have to do it right now. Do it after the live stream. So in the live stream today, we're going to cover some questions that you guys have, and then we'll talk about the new AI features in ZimmWriter. I'm really excited about that. I know a lot of you guys are also. And then about 10 or 15 minutes after the live stream, I will release 10.250. There has been a lot that's changed on the back end to allow for integrating these other APIs. So, again, with a new release, there could be some stuff that breaks. The alpha testers have been testing this for a whole week, but there could be some stuff that breaks. So just realize, the next couple days we might be doing a lot of those one-click updates. I hope not. I hope we've nixed all the bugs, but you never know. Okay, so any questions? Let's at least, I want to honor the promise to answer your guys' questions if you have any for the first little bit before we dive into your cool update that you're all getting. Let's see if we can find some questions in here. So add to broadcast. Ron asks, first question, if you don't mind, if we can put to rest the AI detector question, does this crap actually matter, or ignore it if it always detects 90% AI written? So Google doesn't care. From a ranking perspective, Google doesn't care. I don't know if Microsoft has gone on the record or Yahoo, but they're probably just happy to get more people using their services now because Google's struggling. Google doesn't even know what they're doing anymore. But they said they don't care who writes the article. They just want it to be well written, whatever that means. Helpful content, whatever that means. So from a ranking perspective, who wrote the article has no bearing whatsoever. Now, there are people that will write articles for clients. Maybe you're on Fiverr or something like that, and those clients don't know as much about SEO, and so they're checking to see if the thing's AI written or not. So in those situations, having it detected as human versus AI written could be a very big deal to you. But trying to play the cat and mouse game of keeping up with these AI detectors is a pointless endeavor. I'd rather spend my time working on improving the quality, regardless of who writes it, of the output that we can get from ZimmWriter. So hopefully that answers that question. All right. Margareta says, Mac lover here as well. I have a laptop only for ZimmWriter use. Love the setup. I'm glad you're liking it. Yeah, Mac's not ready yet. We're still working towards that. Her Majesty's Jewels, LLC, asks, how important do you think AI detection still is in light of Google's investment in the same technology? It's not. So we covered that. All right, so All Action Marketing asks how to effectively use ZimmWriter to create a series of Google GPB posts. Say that 3 times out loud. I've I've seen those before. So I don't do local, for myself or for an agency or something like that. So I've seen them. I've never created them, but I believe they're, a couple hundred, they're blog posts, a couple hundred words, and you just kind of bust them out and put them on your Google, business page or something like that. Uh, I'd like to build something that can do that, in one go, specifically for that purpose. But right now you could probably just use the bulk writer for that. You could just come to the bulk writer and then put in your, the different things you want to write about. Now, if it's company specific, then, it's going to be a little bit different. But if you have some general things, like if you're serving if you're a local plumber or your client's a local plumber, then maybe it's, why to get your pipes winterized, how to fix a leaky faucet. Okay, stuff like that. And then I'd come down here for the number of H2s, and I'd say like 2. All right, and we'd set the section length to long. So you get something nice and short, and you could probably just pump these things out. You can, generate a couple hundred of these, queue these up, maybe for the month or something like that. And that's probably all you need. You could just do your featured image and then download it all, and you'd be probably set. So that's what I'd probably do right now. Mark asks, how are the 10 sites going? Yeah, so kind of excited about this. I was going to mention this, but I completely forgot. I'm excited because, so I'm balancing a lot of things. Balancing ZimmWriter, got my full-time job, which is now part-time, have a family, have kids, it's summer or springtime now, so we have lots of yard work, lots of stuff that I need to manage. I'm really involved in my church, and we're doing renovations there. And I'm making updates to ZimmWriter. I'm also working on learning this new language to recode this thing and for Mac and other places too. And I have this course that I'm making for these 10 sites. I also have another course which I just finished recording last night. I have 2 bonus lessons, but I just finished recording. I'm going through the editing right now. It's called Get Prompted, a Get Prompted course. It's gonna be 15 lessons on how to, it's not ZimmWriter related, but how to just prompt better. So I'm doing that as soon as I wrap that up, hopefully this week. I'm gonna switch back to this project, these 10 sites, and I'd like to, I have the course kind of mapped out for that, but kind of help create a course to help people make a site with ZimmWriter from scratch, sprinkle a little SEO on the top. It might help some people. So your question specifically, and that's what the sites were for, kind of figuring out a process that works well with, the ZimmWriter setup. They're doing well. The ones that I wrote using SEO keywords, phenomenal. I'm getting, like one of them, I'm getting almost 200 clicks a day. And the other one is about 30 clicks a day. But both of those sites have about 200 articles more left to publish, and they're on drip feed. I think like 1 article a week now or something like that. So I'm really dripping it slow and letting that organic traffic build up. I've actually got a organic backlink from one of them. It's crazy. So you can still get organic backlinks without outreach. It's great. The other 6 sites, or I'm sorry, the other 4 sites, I've made 6 total before I switched gears. The other 4 sites, I just used the topical authority generator. So they're getting like 1 or 2 clicks a day, but I think it's just because I don't have any SEO keywords that I've actually targeted. I've just used tag to help, Google understand that this is what I'm, this is the niche I'm writing about. I'm not like a spam site or something. I'm dripping the content out there. And then I want to revisit them, circle the wagons back and put some SEO keywords on there and see, how the articles do from a ranking perspective. Now that Google knows that this is a site that is quote unquote legit. So what else? Let's see. The suggestion to use the bulk writer for GBP is great. How would I limit the output and also put a nap at the end of each output? Sure. So the limit your output, you limit it by the number of H2s. All right. So if you don't want a lot of output, you do 2 H2s. Maybe the H2s are too long, so you dial it down to like a medium length or something like that. Now, if you want to do an NAP at the end, I don't like a name, address, and phone number. What I would do is I would create a custom prompt, and I would say, write a call to action to contact our company, include our name, address, and phone number. You know, our name is Bob's Plumbing, you know, address, you know, and phone number, you know, stuff like that. And then what you can do, you know, you save it to like, I don't know, custom prompt, NAP client 1 or something like that. So we'll save the prompt, and then we'll do the prompt for the conclusion. So client 1 right there. And I would probably set this at maybe, you know, GPT-4 Turbo or GPT-4 so it can better follow the prompt. But something like this, you'd create your custom prompt, you'd assign it to the conclusion, and then it would toss that in as it writes the article. All right, Mike asks, how would I use ZimmWriter to create a series of 7 follow-up emails without having to create each one of the 7 emails with ZimmWriter separately? So unfortunately, ZimmWriter is, well, you know, maybe it's not really built for that. I think the closest way without doing it manually with a magic command could probably be the text discombobulator. We'll go to the Vault text discombobulator. You can read the directions up here. Think of the text discombobulator as kind of like a GPT for sheets. You know, you have your Excel sheet and you have your different rows and different columns, and you're processing your prompt against a particular row in column 1 or something like that. Okay, so this is essentially, you know, you'd have your stuff in here, like write an email to, you know, to a client with the following rules. You put the entire prompt on one line. Okay. No, I'm sorry. You put the context on one line. You'd say, you know, and I don't know what this would be in terms of an email, but in terms of like a non-email, you'd say like dogs, cats, caring for pets. Okay. And then you could apply a custom prompt to it. So maybe if you had like some kind of, I don't know what it would be. I'd have to take some time to think about it, but you'd have some kind of context here. All right. Some kind of context. And then you'd run your custom prompt against it. So this could be, I guess, maybe this could be context for the first email. And then you'd run your custom prompt on it, which would cause it to create that email. And this could be like the second email. This could be the third, not like the full email, but like some kind of context to give the email that you're going to then run the prompt against. Okay, if that makes sense. It's a little hard to wrap your head around. I think that's the closest way we could possibly do it, but your mileage will vary. It might work well. Poods asks, Matt, with all the changes and growing up ZimmWriter has had over the past it's not a question. Okay, just a statement. Yeah, ZimmWriter's changed a lot over the past couple months. Chris asks, hey, Matt, I'm finding the output from the local SEO buffet to be very similar. Any tips on how to increase the variety of output? Hey, Chris, so, I mean, like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So whether something is similar or not truly is, you know, I could look at it and I might say to you like, oh, that's not similar at all. Like that's not, in my opinion. You might look at, you know, something and think it's very, very similar. So it really depends, you know, if there's something I can do or if it's just like a subjective opinion of yours. Not saying you're wrong, but there, you know, there might not be anything I can do, or maybe, you know, you're looking at it too deeply with it, you know, too closely, and we got to take a bigger step back. So feel free to send me a couple of the text files, private message me on Facebook, and maybe make some notes if you want to do like a Word document, make some notes as why you think they're similar or where you're seeing this, and I can tell you what I see. But in general, the content is going to be somewhat similar. Google has said, although I can't find the documentation, that having identical content on each landing page for just changing it up for a location doesn't necessarily hurt you. But I'm thinking like you're not getting necessarily the benefits when you're not using like a variety of different words. And so the SEO buffet allows you to use those different words, but there is still going to be a lot of similarity between the two, you know, the two pages, you know, like the cleaning toilets in Toledo, cleaning toilets in Cleveland. There's going to be a lot of overlap, but it should still give you those juicy keywords to help you rank. All right, Poods asked, do you see any new use cases for magic commands that might not have been thought up before the updates? Well, so I love magic commands simply because I wrote what I typically do, and you guys might not do this, but I'll use magic commands whenever I'm editing my blog posts. So I'll write this content myself, write it all myself, and then I'm in the Gutenberg editor. Imagine I'm in the Gutenberg editor right now, and I'll select this content and I'll press Control-4 because in my advanced triggers, Control-4 is assigned to this right here. Rewrite the text to fix grammar and add contractions. Use an active tone of voice. And I would use the GPT-4 Turbo model. And then, use settings when menu's closed. And I'd simply go into Gutenberg and I'd highlight this text. You don't want to highlight over, all of it. You want to, not do headings. So just just do paragraphs, and realize the hyperlinks will get stripped out. So just be aware of that. But you'll highlight the text and I'll hit Control-4 and it will rewrite it, and the quality is phenomenal. It takes my just, I'm just writing stuff down as fast as I can, and it takes that and cleans it all up for me. So I love doing that. Let's see. Rude asks, if possible, can you release the update so we can try it out and ask questions during the live stream instead of releasing the update at the end? No. All right, let's see. Do backlinks matter if I want to reach higher traffic, like 50,000 a month and not just 1,000 a month traffic? Yeah, backlinks will matter, but there's so many other factors that go into play. Like if your keyword doesn't have 50,000 traffic, then you're not going to get 50,000 with just more backlinks and things like that. So there's a lot more factors at play. Wayne asks, Matt, how can I limit the word count in bulk writer to say 1,000 words or less? I think I messaged you before, but it'd be good to say this on the live stream. So if you want a specific word count, what you should do is, again, we're dialing in our settings for a particular use case, whether it's a niche or whether we're making Google My Business posts or whatever it is. You'll put your article title in here, how to wash a dog, and you'll configure all your settings. Okay, configure all your settings first. Don't upload to WordPress yet, and then just say like automatic. All right, you'll write the article, and then you'll go to the article. You'll open up the text file, and you'll look at the H2, the content that was written for the H2, and you'll take it to, like, I don't know, I like character counter. Character count. I'll go here, and you'll put that H2, content right in here, and it will tell you how many words it is. Okay, and then you can simply take that and multiply it by the number of H2s to get your desired word count. So if you want, if each H2 section is 100 words and you want 1,000 words, then you need 10 H2s. All right, simple as that. That's what I would recommend. Sam, I don't see your initial question, Sam. I see for automated to WordPress. If you want to upload to WordPress, you just go into the WordPress button and you add your WordPress, or select your WordPress site, and you can actually add your WordPress sites up to 1,000 of them inside of the setup WordPress area over here. Okay. I know, Jill. The fewer questions we get, the better. As soon as I run out of questions, we're going to talk about the update. Let's see. Haven't updated in a while. Am I still good to run it on Windows 7? Nothing's changed. So if it ran before in Windows 7, you should be. Hey, Matt, thanks for always updating. Love it. Okay. Sam asks, for automated to WordPress, can we set the permalink and SEO title? Usually we set the article title in the bulk writer. The alt tag is you. So a couple questions there. In terms of the image, can't do much with the image tags right now, but I believe if we go to the help page here, let's see, I want to say, you could try this. Maybe I just forgot to describe it in here. You know what? Let's do this. Secret training, change log. This might have been something I forgot to document. Yeah. Okay. So I forgot to add this actually. So hey, cool new feature you guys didn't know about. I added it last month. If you add slug equals in the bulk writer to against the title, so we could say slug equals wash a dog. All right. It will, yeah, I guess that will be the slug. So you can define the slug to whatever you want. If you want like the exact match keyword. So like let's say you've gone to the SEO keywords to blog post titles. And I think it actually does it automatically in here for you. Okay. In the output, it will have it in here, but you'll put your different titles in here. Washing a dog, washing a cat, getting into college. It will spit out your CSV list with a suggested, all right, not gospel, but it's a suggested title. But you'll also have a merged column, I believe, with a, with a slug already on it, and it will be the exact match keyword that you input right here. Okay. But you can, if you're not using this particular feature, if you're coming up with your blog post title some other way, you can just go into the bulk writer. Maybe you're doing this like in Excel or something like that. You just merge the columns together and you can just create your slugs this way. You'll get the exact match slug. Yeah, I got to add this to the training literature because I have not done that. Good question. Let's see what else we got. When will, I know that's the one thing that you want. Unfortunately, it's harder. That's a very hard ask because you don't just need a queue. You need a way to manage it and all this stuff. It's not necessarily something I want to build in this code base. Okay. Will you talk about AI detection tools and what we can do to prevent AI spam from your articles? Not really sure what AI spam is. That's a really amorphous definition, but we did talk about at the beginning of this AI detection. What would be the best way to generate social GMB posts? So we kind of covered that already. We talked about that already. Latest update's not live yet. Let's see. Are we going to be able to use Claude in Canada? I don't know. That's up to Anthropic. Let's see. I wish you could see these questions too. Okay, here we go. With the AI generated images, is there a way to regenerate the images if it's not the image you want and have it update the article? So you run it bulk, upload to WordPress. The problem with having it automatically replace the images, so you've done a bulk generation of 1,000 articles and you're having some that are blurred or some with like 15 fingers or something like that, and you're not like advertising cosmetic surgery or something, hey, reduce your 16 fingers. There's no way to do that automatically, and it's problematic to do it automatically too, because you might have converted the article from the HTML format now to block format, and we can't transfer that through the REST API. There's a lot of technical problems, or maybe you're using particular page builder like Elementor, and it could screw something up. So excuse me, the solution we have is, and I'll tease you with this new feature, is the bulk AI image generator. So let's say you just ran let's say you're in the dog niche. You just have all kinds of like blog posts about dogs, washing dogs, feeding dogs, caring for dogs, adopting dogs. Okay. So you can put in a lot of different things in here about dogs, caring for a dog, adopting a dog, stuff like that. Okay. And then if you just want more stuff on this, we can just repeat it a bunch of times, and we'll put our prompt in here. So we'll have our prompt. We select our model, and then we select our image model, and it will create more images for these topics. Okay. And then you can kind of go through them and then upload them all to your website, and then replace any defective or any poor images with these these new images that you've generated. So a little bit of a manual process, but it solves the problem of having images that are blurry or are wrong, and you just don't know what to do. You don't want to deal with creating a whole nother prompt. ZimmWriter will do it all for you. Oh, and then so the new feature in the bulk image generator is if you are using a stable diffusion model, so not Dolly, but a stable diffusion model, then we allow you to select the model, the aspect ratios that Stable Diffusion offers. Okay. These are the only ones that Stable Diffusion offers, but you can select, one by one if you want to do some social images or something like that. Course isn't out yet, coming soon. It's going to be on my get prompted site. Let's see. Is it possible to get a variable for length for the custom outlines for bulk writer? I'd like to be able to make it so some of the H3s tiny while the rest is medium. It's an interesting, interesting question. I haven't thought about that yet. Maybe we can't do that yet, but maybe I could build something like that. Where do you get your keywords for your site that is doing good? So the two sites that are doing well, one, I got the data from SEMrush and Ahrefs, and one was programmatic SEO. So if you think of like best places to shop or to do blank in like this location, so shop in New Jersey, eat food in New Jersey, that's programmatic SEO. ZimmWriter allows you to do that. That's one of the sites. The other site is just a straight up info site on a particular niche, and I got the keywords from SEMrush and Ahrefs. So they both originated from SEMrush and Ahrefs. But then what I did was I like using Keyword Chef. I'll put all of those keywords up to 5,000 into Keyword Chef, and then we'll go out and do a SERP scrape for each individual keyword, and then merge the ones that have similar results showing in the SERP together, so you don't get that cannibalization. And then, but again, that only works well when there actually is data for those keywords in the SERP. If there's just like one site or no real sites in the SERP for that, then it could be throwing away some decent keywords. So I use Keyword Chef to do that, and then I fed them all into the bulk writer, and just away we went. Hey Matt, plan to make the blog pages more shoppable. Can we make a custom call to action with a fixed graphic to be inserted 2 to 3? Well, the problem with in the SEO writer, you can do that, and in the Penny Arcade, you can also do that. It would be a call to action to the URL that you put in here. So you can say, I want it in the first H2, the middle H2, the last H2. As a, in terms of like randomly putting a call to action in the bulk writer for a URL, which we have not yet, it doesn't really accept URLs. That's a very niche request. I would probably recommend a WordPress plugin that would auto insert stuff into the site. I'm a big fan of so switching, I don't know if you're talking about Amazon or not, but I love the AFFI.ai plugin because it will actually one click, one button, and you can have it use OpenAI to automatically scan each page, each article that you have on your site, and auto inject relevant Amazon products into that page. Absolutely phenomenal. You can, one click of a button, you turn your entire website, your info site, into an affiliate site. It's great. But I don't know if you want something different than that. Let's see. Can we do some keyword golden ratio thing with ZimmWriter? Can we find it? So ZimmWriter is not a keyword, are you talking about finding keywords to write about, or how we use the keywords when it writes? Right now we use the BM25 algorithm or modification of that to insert them, and I think that's good enough because the stuff ranks. What plugins do you recommend? I forget all of them. I will talk about them in the course, but if I'm not doing a news site, I'll use Blocksy as my theme. I'll use Generate Blocks as the block builder, and then I'll usually have like Fluent Forms, and I'm trying to think off the Lucky WP table of contents, because that's a free table of contents plugin. Can't remember what else though. Let's see. A lot of nice things were said about you and ZimmWriter and Chris Palmer's mastermind group yesterday. Your hard work is appreciated. Hey, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. How can I make ZimmWriter LSB topical SEO buffet add longitude and latitude to the local SEO buffet? So I don't have that right now. Do people write like that though? Like, I've seen a landing page before, and I don't really see that in the middle of the text. Like you have hey, why you should get your pipes winterized or something like that. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. And then you have like a longitude, latitude in the middle of the paragraph. I don't normally see that. I don't know if that would be a use case that a lot of people would use. Can the custom prompts be used to create specific image size outputs? The custom prompts be used No, the bulk image generator, you can do ratios in here. You can't, everything else, all the other ratios are going to be 16 by 9, but you're giving a um, standard resolution. If you click the compress, then it will make the image smaller and compress it. But if you don't click this, then you'll just get the raw dimensions from Stable Diffusion or DALL-E. Let's see. All right, like 3 more questions, and then we're going to switch gears and talk about the update. Okay, I don't want to go a whole hour because this is going to be a fun update. So, hello Matt, how do I make a better use of the list of keywords that NeuronWriter gave me to better my article? Well, you can do one of 2 things. If we're using the SEO writer, then we just come down here and you'd put the keywords in here. But the important thing to keep in mind is, like, let's say you put 100 keywords in here. Put 100 keywords in here and you have 5 H2s. All right, no H3s, just 5 H2s. If you don't do anything else, you just put your 100 keywords in here, you have 5 H2s, you're telling the AI right now, telling ZimmWriter to try to use 5 keywords per H2. 5 keywords times 5 H2s is 25 keywords, but we have 100 here. So it can't use all 100. At max, it could only use 25. So, you do a little bit of math, you say, okay, I want to use as many as possible. Let's dial this up to 10, all right? 10 keywords per subsection times 5 H2s is 50 keywords. We have 100 keywords in here, so at max, we could use 50 keywords. Let's say we want to use all of them. Then we come up here and we increase the number of H2s to 10, and we set this at 10, and then we're going to try, ZimmWriter is going to try it best to use all 100 of the keywords, okay? See how that works? That's how I would do it here. The bulk writer and the bulk, the SEO CSV allows you to put the keywords in, but I think it just determines a number to use dynamically based on the number of H2s that are selected for the article. So a little bit different math right there, but that's what I would do. Any other pressing questions? Just looking. All right. So yeah, last week, like I tell you, I'm like, okay, let's release an update, and like 150 you guys all show up and all have these questions, and it's like, I know people are going to get ticked off if we don't start talking about the update, okay? So hey, if you have more questions, show up next week. I'm trying to do this every Friday to help answer your questions, whatever questions you have. I can't give marital advice or advice on how to raise your kids, okay? I'm still trying to learn about all those things. But if you have questions about how to generate content, SEO questions, how to use ZimmWriter, anything in between, or setting up a WordPress site, hey, just drop by the live stream and ask it. And usually we have 20, 30 people online. And so you'll get a lot of one-on-one time getting your question answered. All right, enough of that. That was fun, but let's talk update right now. So let's go over here. And if you haven't seen yet, there's a new page we made on how to connect to Anthropic's Claude API and Grock's API. So Anthropic is the company, just like OpenAI is the company, and they have a model called Claude. And there's a couple different variations of Claude. Just like OpenAI has GPT-3, GPT 3.5, GPT-4, same thing. So this is their model, all right? And Grock is another company, and they also have their own models. Now, we'll talk about those models in a moment. So if you want to get Anthropic, there's directions in here. This guide, when the update comes out in the next 40 minutes, you'll go to the options menu inside of ZimmWriter, and you'll click on Setup Text API non-OpenAI. And I need to switch screens real quick because I have my API keys in here. I'm just going to delete these real quick, so you can just see my pretty face, right, while we do this. All right, let's switch back. All right, so you click this button, it will open up this Setup Text API non-OpenAI. It's a mouthful. There's a link to this page right here. Read the directions. A lot of you guys don't read the directions. Read the directions, it helps. So you can put your Grock API here, and you can put your Anthropic API here, and then you'll save and you'll verify that it's all set up right. You can get your Anthropic API key on the Anthropic website. You'll create an account, you'll log in. Now, if you're familiar with the tiers for OpenAI, Anthropic is the same way. They have tiers with different usages. Let's see, there's somewhere that has like limits in here. Logs. Now maybe it's on my page here. Yeah, usage rates and limits. Okay, so on the free tier, when you first sign up, it's going to say, hey, you know what, you have no credits, but enter your phone number, you'll get $5 in free credits. So those $5 will get you 5 requests a minute. Very, very slow. Okay, so if you add $5, you'll get moved to the free, the build one tier, and the build one tier is 50 requests a minute, 50,000 tokens per minute, this many tokens per day. And there's limits to how much you can spend in a month. It's all weird stuff. All these companies have all these weird rules. On the build tier 1, you can only spend $100 in the month. They say you have to wait 7 days after adding $40 to get to build tier 2 and then have a limit of $500. What I did was I just added $50 to my account and I was immediately moved to build tier 2. So for whatever reason, Anthropic is not observing this and they'll move you up the tiers without having to wait, which is cool. Build tier 2, you'll never hit these limits inside of ZimmWriter, so this would be full speed. Okay. Now, be careful of the pricing. Understand that the models cost money. Okay, so the cost for these, and this is subject to change. This is hard coded in ZimmWriter, so if this stuff changes, I'd have to come and update ZimmWriter. But in general, the Haiku model, which is like a GPT 3.5, it's similar to that, equivalent to that, is about $0.25 per million tokens, or $1.25 for the output token. So this is like input tokens, output tokens. When you talk to the AI, you're sending it data, and that's input tokens, and you're getting data back, and that's output tokens. So you might say, you might give it a really small prompt, so that's not a lot of input tokens, but you might be asking back, for a lot of content. That's output tokens. Okay, so the pricing does vary. So there's Claude 3 Haiku, and there's Claude 3 Sonnet. Now Sonnet's kind of like a GPT-4 Turbo, and there's Claude 3 Opus, which is like your GPT-4. All right. Now there's a site. Let's see over here. We'll talk about this in a minute. Claude 3. There we go. This is like a GitHub site. You can pause the video and copy this if you want to, but these people wrote some code to do some training on some tests on these different models. And you can look up what all these are. But these are like different tests. Like one of them is a scientific test. Like how does it do on answering questions related to like chemistry and biology and things like that. And another test is like math. How does it do on answering math type questions? Human eval is how does it do on evaluating programming and stuff like that. And there's another one for evaluating like just questions and answers and responses and things like that. So you can just think of all of these as like different score categories. So like Claude, let's look at GPT, for example, first. I believe this is the latest GPT-4, all right? Actually, this would be the API. So like these are the results for GPT-4. Now, Claude Opus, I don't know what the difference between these are. Let's just use the empty. Claude Opus is very comparable to GPT-4, all right? And it's about the same price. It's a little more expensive on the output tokens, but I think it's less expensive on the input tokens, something like that. But keep an eye. When I was running just a standard ZimmWriter bulk article in the bulk writer, I think, with just automatic everything, the articles and no custom prompts, no custom outlines, stuff like that, but just all these options enabled, and then using Claude Opus for the output. I think they're about 50 cents each for each article. Okay, so that's the price of Opus, but it's very smart. So that's Anthropic. You can use the 3 models. You can sign up for the pricing. Now the fun part is Grock. Okay, Grock is a really fun opportunity for us. You can sign up for Grock on their API page right here. And how do I explain this? So Grock doesn't Anthropic made their own AI models. Claude was made and trained by Anthropic, and now they have some funding. I think Amazon gave them a couple $1 billion or something, so now they have some real money. Maybe they'll train Claude 4 or something. Grock is different. Grock just runs open source models. So it runs these llama models. Now, llama was made by Facebook. Okay, this was just released like a couple weeks ago. This is a model made by Facebook. This is a model made by Facebook, and they're both the same, but this is an 8 billion model. I think of these as brain sizes. Okay, so this is a baby brain, maybe an adult brain, and then there's a 400 billion parameter model that's still being trained, and Facebook will soon release to the public. These are all open source models. There'll be a 400 billion parameter model. And I'm assuming Grock will also add that to the repository of models that you can run. The cool thing is, because this is open source, you could theoretically run it on your own computer. I tried adding, well, I did add, but then I removed it. I added this, the ability to run Llama locally with the ZimmWriter. Problem is, this is not powerful enough to run the ZimmWriter prompts. Everything was failing. Like it was not even usable at all. I was getting garbage output. This surprised me. I was actually able to get very good quality output from this. Problem is, none of you guys can probably run this model. This would require 34 gigabytes of GPU, so a video card memory, and the max memory on a consumer grade GPU is 24. I don't know about SLI mode, like two GPUs connected together, but that's, I'm sure 95%, 99% of you guys don't have two GPUs in SLI with 24 gigs each. So the number of people that could actually use this would probably be like 1 or 2 people. And that begs the question, like, what do we do? Can we run this model? Well, this Grock company is offering these models to run, and right now they're completely free to run. So you can sign up to Grock and get a free API key. And eventually, let's see, they'll have a pay-as-you-go, just like OpenAI, just like Anthropic. The cool thing is that llama model is almost comparable to GPT-4, okay, in terms of quality. And I don't know where the pricing on here was, but the proposed pricing for when this goes paid will have the llama model that we're talking about be equivalent to about GPT 3.5 pricing. So even though it's like GPT-4 quality, when this does go paid, it will be the same price as GPT 3.5 Turbo. But until it goes paid, it's completely free to use. Now, because it's free to use, you are rate limited, okay? So the Llama 3 model, you're limited to 6,000 tokens a minute. That's where we're going to hit the sticky point with ZimmWriter. So it's going to run slower. You're not going to hit this. You're not going to hit this. You're going to be hitting this token limit. And it's all going to happen automatically behind the scenes. ZimmWriter will just wait for this to refresh. But right now, you can literally generate unlimited content with ZimmWriter, within the rate limit. Pretty awesome stuff. So in terms of this model, this is Facebook's. Facebook made a post, and this is their Llama 70 billion parameter model, the one that we're linking up to ZimmWriter, not the 8 billion model. Okay. And they're comparing it to, they did the same tests with it and comparing it to Claude Sonnet. This is the middle of the road Claude one, the GPT-4 Turbo. All right. And the Llama model beats it in all of these different categories. And it's even comparable to Gemini Pro 1.5. So it's a very, very smart model that you can run for free right now. And then when Grock goes paid, it will be the same price as 3.5. Now, there's a couple things to keep in mind. One is my prompts were developed for OpenAI. So they're just, because they're different models, I was getting different things out. So I have some patches, quote unquote patches behind the scenes to kind of patch some things, but you still might run into an occasional glitch that, just an edit is going to require. Like it might be a heading that's mislabeled or something like that, or something's not, jiving very well. The other thing I've noticed a lot, and this brings me to a new feature that's important to explain to you all right now. In the options menu, you're going to see 2 models in here, 2 drop downs. The model, there's a model for writing, okay? And this is the default. This is kind of what we had before, but I've renamed it. This is the model for writing. So if you go into like the bulk writer, that was the default, and you can override it should say AI model for writing. I don't know why it doesn't. But this is the AI model for writing right here that you come in here and select. If you go to the Penny Arcade, where is that? AI model. Yeah, it should say AI model for writing. I don't know why it's not. You select it from the drop down in here too. Okay, so these are all the AI models for writing. And we have another model that you could select, and this is the AI model for I can't say the word, tasks. So there's some things that I do behind the scenes, such as translate content, or let's see, what else do? We determine if content is in English, or we'll scrape and summarize a page. So the SERP scraping and stuff like that, that's all done using this model and this dropdown. Or we'll do bolding of keywords, okay, things like that. So this is where you'd select that model. And we're limiting the models you can select. We're not using expensive models for this, okay? So by default, I was using this behind the scenes, but now that we have different models, I'm giving you guys some more choices, okay? You can use both of these. If you use Llama 3, it will be free, but obviously because it's gonna be rate limited, it will go slower. So if you don't mind spending a couple pennies, I recommend 3.5 Turbo. You can also use Haiku. Now, the bolding of keywords works very, very well on GPT 3.5 Turbo, but it's a little flaky on both of these just because of how the models work, okay? So again, if you like really want bolded keywords, you want them to be consistent and stuff, maybe select GPT 3.5 and not Haiku or not, Llama for that if you're doing the bolding to help readability, okay? Trying to think what else. Oh yeah, there's one more. Got to go back into the options menu, but I'm going to switch screens one more time. And let's see here. And I'll take questions at the end. So the last thing you'll see when you come into this menu is this button up here called Switch to GPT 3.5 Turbo on server errors for a particular job. So now that we have different models, we need a plan of action for, let's say the Grock servers go down. Let's say the Claude servers go down. What do we do? So as you're writing right now, like one of your jobs, like 50 articles in the bulk writer, a product roundup job, something like that, okay? What will happen is if ZimmWriter encounters an error, you'll get a pop-up box and it will say, what would you like to do? Would you like to retry? Okay, and ZimmWriter will automatically close the window and retry in 10 minutes, okay? Or would you like to switch to OpenAI's 3.5 Turbo model, okay, and finish the job? So if you're writing 50 blog posts and Grock goes down and you don't know what to do, all right, you can switch to 3.5 Turbo to finish the rest of the articles, okay? Or you can completely exit ZimmWriter. So those are the only options I'm able to offer. I wish I could just do like an abort, but I can't because of how the code is coded. So those are the three options. Maybe you don't want that pop-up box because it's going to keep retrying the server every 10 minutes. Maybe you don't care, you want to try a Claude model, but if it doesn't work, you just want it to use GPT 3.5 Turbo. In that situation, check this box, okay? Then you won't get that pop-up, and what will happen is for a particular job, and a job would be defined as, a run of like 20 articles in here, or, a run of like 20 different URLs in here, or one SEO writer job, something like that. For the remainder of that job, it will use that GPT 3.5 Turbo model. It will just default to that model for you. And then I think when it does that, it will switch when this reappears, it will be switched to GPT 3.5 Turbo. If not, you'll just reselect the model that you want when the servers come back online. I hope that makes sense. So that was a mouthful. All right, let me scroll up, see if there's any questions in here about kind of what we talked about. And then when we're done, I'll turn this off. And then in about 15 minutes, you guys will have the update. Just looking for questions right now. All right, let me just kind of pick up where I left off. So we're gonna get a mix of questions about this and just mix about questions in general. Is ZimmWriter suitable for websites copy? You guys can answer that in chat. Tell the Vidias if ZimmWriter can work for website copy. Hey Matt, what's the Gutenberg editor? Is it something that's attached to ZimmWriter? Inside of WordPress, Gutenberg is the default now way of creating a blog post. You just, new blog post, and then that's the editor interface. Like many years ago, in the world of technology, not a long time ago, they had a classic editor interface where you're typing. Now they've switched to like this block editor interface. It's standard on every single WordPress install, unless you're using like Elementor or something. Custom outline. We don't have that yet. Can it do landing pages? That is what the local SEO buffet does. Although read the directions, because it gives you a buffet of options and not an actual page to automatically upload. Ideal workflow for local builds. Not sure what that means, but we can cover that in the next live stream. I will have a question once I use the new updates. Please hit the update button. I don't have an update button. All right, I got to do a bunch of steps. It's going to take 15 minutes. Okay, sorry. Is there a way to get ZimmWriter to write slightly different? Example, it writes the trailing thought, then main thought. I'd like, yeah, just custom prompt. Go into the bulk writer or whatever writer you're in, and specify your custom prompt. And in these directions, all right, I explain how to test your custom prompt. Don't just go in there and start writing stuff. Read the directions, learn how to test your custom prompt, test it in the playground, and you'll really get phenomenal output. ZimmWriter is amazing for people that will put in just a little bit of extra time reading the directions on how to do things. It provides, like Bharat, my moderator, he uses ZimmWriter a lot. And the stuff that he's shown me that he's been able to do with custom prompts, it blows my mind. Like the quality it's mind blowing. I don't deal a lot with the custom prompts. I'll just use the generic output from ZimmWriter because it's good enough. But if you really want to take it up a notch, the custom prompts can do amazing things. And the really neat thing now is with custom prompts, I forgot to mention this, you can technically use 3 models now. You can use a model for your custom prompt. So we can say, okay, you know what? I want my custom prompt to be Opus, all right? But I want to write the article with llama, and I want this ancillary tasks, I can't say that word, to be GPT 3.5 Turbo. So you can actually use 3 models now. Is there a way to use Mimic for local buffet? Not at the moment, but if enough people request that, then possibly. Any plans to introduce anything like entities or semantics into the functionality? Not at this time. Will you add a search feature to the training pages? I recommend, if you guys have not done this, I really recommend clicking the secret training and scrolling down and clicking this right here. You click this, and you'll literally see all of my videos on and they're all bite-sized videos, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 9 minutes. You can go through all of them in like 2 or 3 hours, or you can find the ones that you want and just go through those. I don't have a video up yet for this new update though. Is there any WordPress software that allows images and content to be positioned anywhere on a page without having to build the sites in blocks? No, that would be, you'd have to do that programmatically, and you'd have to hire a developer to do that. There's not a way to just do that because it's all CSS positioned and things like that, and you just can't. Typically, when we publish an article from, let me move this, from Zim, the SEO and article are the same. Can we set them differently? For example, SEO is meta title. Publish an article from Zim, the SEO and the article titles are the same. How can we set them differently? Slug. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the meta title, essentially the meta title that's displayed on the SERP page, and then the H1. We can't set them differently right now. Instead of listing each in a row, can you make it like Midjourney Pro? I'm not sure what this is. Midjourney Pro. I forget what we were referring to. You can private message me. I think you need to add a site title with, okay. I've seen the use of custom outlines. Is there a way to use them for service pages? I'm not looking for article content, rather a sales page or landing page. I'm not looking for article content, rather a service page or landing page. There are a lot of people in the group that do. I have not delved down that rabbit hole yet, but you can definitely do that. So I would ask that question in the group, be really specific with kind of what you want, maybe give an example section or example article, and that will help you get really good results from feedback. I'm just going to put this here while I look for another one. Can't update ZimmWriter, getting error, update files are missing. I haven't pushed the update out yet. But if you're getting that error with just pushing the update button, it could be your virus scanner blocking the connection. That's usually what happens. Can you drop links to the programs you mentioned? I have some of them in here. In the tools section, you click the marketing tools. Really good course right here. If you want to learn about AI or SEO, the Amazon plugins here. Let's see. Here's the Blocksy builder. A lot of these are affiliate links, but they're, like I said, I recommend these. This is the Blocksy builder. This is free. The Lucky WordPress table of contents. I use Fluent Forms. I'll use some of these things. I don't have a link to generate blocks, but you can just search for generate blocks online and find it. Update on question, Amazon specific creating blogs for client, and we want the CTA to show their Amazon image. Yeah, you can definitely do that. So Penny Arcade, you put the Amazon URL inside of here. You need scrape Al to scrape Amazon, okay? And then you can designate, where you want the call to action to appear. All right, now you can also, if you create a custom outline, and let's see if I have a custom outline in here, like Amazon review, okay? So, and you can read about this in the custom outline directions. See how we have this CTA in here, right? That can, you're telling the AI or telling ZimmWriter where you want that call to action to go, okay? So you can put the call to action exactly where you want it in the custom outline when you're scraping that Amazon page or something like that, okay? Hope that answers your question. Scrape, oh man, too bad you asked this at this point. I'd love to show people how to use Scraping Surgeon to scrape a page, but we're almost out of time, so I just don't have time this week. If you show up next week, I can definitely do this for you. Scraping Surgeon is a little tricky because a lot of you might not know HTML or CSS, and it requires some knowledge of that. But I could walk you through it, but it would have to be next week. Amazon WordPress plugin. So click the marketing tools. You'll see both of them on there. Email sequence, Neuron Writer API. I pay $20 a month for Claude. Can I drop it now? It's up to you. I don't know. I wouldn't chat. I still pay for, I actually pay for all of them. I pay for Gemini. I pay for Gemini because it was trained on the language that I'm recoding ZimmWriter in. I pay for ChatGPT because there's just things that are just useful to do in chat that are free. And in my course, I'm also going to show, in my Get Prompted course, I'm also going to show you how I made this site with my mother-in-law. She's doing the voiceovers, but we're making entirely AI YouTube videos that are books. And there's subtitles and the kids read along and things like that. One of the videos has like 30,000 views. So it's really cool. I'll explain that. But I do all of that inside of ChatGPT. So, and I love the images that you can create contextually relevant. It's something that Midjourney cannot do. So I still have my ChatGPT paid account. As for Claude, I don't know. I think I'm paying for it, but I could maybe just drop it. I don't have a use for it with Gemini and then also with ChatGPT. Is there a plan to add Gemini? I'm interested in that. Like, I'm not going to add, all this stuff is stuff that I have to maintain. So I don't want to add like 20 different APIs. That's not my interest at all. I have no desire to do that. Gemini is cool. I like the output. Problem is, Google is a big freaking company and they're idiots when it comes to usability. So trying to get in there and create the API, and you need a workspace account. You can't just have a Gmail account. And I mean, it's a nightmare from a usability standpoint. So how many people would actually go through all those steps and do that? Maybe a few of you, but not the majority. So until Google makes it simple, I'm not really interested. Yes, you can do programmatic SEO with ZimmWriter. Go look in the custom outline directions. It will explain that down below. It's in the variable section. Bulk writer, custom outlines, custom outline guide. We scroll down to this. This is your magical area right here for programmatic SEO. So like best recipe for Southern barbecue chicken. would be a title that we put into the bulk writer. var1 equals Southern barbecue chicken, var2 equals barbecue pork. And then here's our custom outline. History of var1. So this would be history of Southern barbecue chicken. Best recipe for var1, Southern barbecue chicken. Which is better, var1 or var2? So this would be which is better, Southern barbecue chicken or barbecue pork, okay? So this would be exactly what you would paste into the custom outline. This would be your exact title. You can go try this out and it will create this article for you. Great way to do programmatic SEO, phenomenal way. You don't use this with optimized title normally. I don't recommend using optimized title with this because it could potentially destroy the programmatic nature that you're going for, okay? But phenomenal way if you find like a niche, and this is what I did for one of my niches one of the sites that's doing like 20 clicks a day or something like that. Programmatic SEO, it works, it's amazing. Drip your content out, you can rank. All right, let's see. Oh, we're getting out of questions. This is good. Is there a way, if within the outline there is an H2 and several H3s beneath it, where should I provide the information that will be written? If within the outline there is, so in here you don't. ZimmWriter comes up with the content that it's gonna write, audiobook, so it comes up with the content. You expect far too much from us reading instructions, hearsay. Heresy. Yes, I agree. I've understood that I am not teaching to the highest common denominator. Any comments on the AI detection to prevent spam scores in Google? Nope, we already talked about that. This is amazing and very complex. Where can I learn to use this from a total novice perspective? Total novice perspective. This is what you do. You want to be a total novice? This is what you do. Secret training. I call it secret training because I called this help before and no one clicked on it. So I'm like, oh, cool, let me call it secret training. And then people will click on it, no one clicks on it. So I don't know what to tell. Maybe I should say like win $5 or something like that. I don't know. Secret training, it has a lot of different guides on here. It has the onboarding to get started and then a link to my 23 training videos. All right, this is every feature inside of ZimmWriter, how to get started, very bite-sized videos. I have more stuff on my YouTube page too. You want to get started, you're total novice, watch these. Let's see. What is the name of the Amazon affiliate plugin? We talked about that. Just click on the marketing tools, affi.ai. Long shot, but would there be plans to be able to use Stable Diffusion? I was actually looking at that last night as a secret bonus for you all. The problem is you got to install Python and do all this stuff. There's not like a one-click, like llama. You know what a llama is? It's like literally one-click install. Like anybody can do it. And it's easy, but there's still a lot of hoops with A1111, how many ones that is, to get Stable Diffusion running locally. So I'm like, yeah, until it's a more easy solution, like an llama-like solution, I'm going to avoid that. No, there's no settings to export. Can't call it how to make money with ZimmWriter. All right, guys, that was awesome. Thank you for, I don't know how do I close this? Close to, hold on. There we go. Fantastic. Hey, thank you all for attending the live stream. I'm going to stop recording now and then go about 10 minutes before the update. Don't keep hitting the ZimmWriter update button or you'll crash my server and then none of you will get the update. Just go to the Facebook group or just wait 15 minutes, go get a drink or use the restroom or something. About 15 minutes, you'll have the update, okay? I'd love to hear your feedback in the group about how you guys like it. Also, again, for those that came late, if you really could, maybe in the 15 minutes that you have right now, I would super love it if you went to the Facebook group and then looked at the pinned post called ZimmWriter Testimonial and then clicked it with your phone. It will allow you with your phone to record a YouTube test or a video testimonial or a text testimonial. Oh, I wasn't showing you. Yeah, you go to my Facebook group, you click the pinned tabs up here, ZimmWriter Testimonial, leave a testimonial. I would greatly appreciate that. Video testimonials give bonus points from me. So again, thank you for attending the live stream. Hope you got some value out of it. I'm going to try to have these once a week. And so prep your questions, think about your questions, and I'm going to go get the update ready to release. Thanks.